I hate to break it to you, but being messy and disorganized is costing you time and money. If you're tired of feeling all over the place and never having enough time really, or maybe you have moments of being organized and productive, but you can't make it stick, I want you to tune into this episode to go from scattered and inefficient to feeling in control and getting more done. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Tiffany Shelton-Mariol, neuropsychologist, published author, and founder of Mind Ambition. I post every week on how to plan, manifest, and enjoy your dream life. So if you're into that, please tap that subscribe button. In this episode, you're going to learn 7 habits of insanely organized and productive people so you can say goodbye to chaos and disorder and hello to peace of mind and efficiency. Professional organizer Andrew Mellon said, being organized isn't about getting rid of everything you own or trying to become a different person. It's about living the way you want to live, but better. And I want to remind you that adopting these habits isn't about feeling ashamed or guilty about your current state of organization and productivity, but it's more about offering you habits to support your life and your goals right now. So for today's episode, I'm going to use the analogy of flying a plane to share these habits with you. After all, getting what we want in life is all about the journey, and you can think of these habits as the jet that are going to take you there. So think about the incredible efficiency it takes to get a plane from point A to point B, and then think of yourself as the pilot. Okay, so with that framework, let's jump right in. Imagine being busy all the time with nothing to show for it. You might as well be a chicken with your head chopped off, aimless, frantic, and frenzied, running all over the place. So first up, I want you to have a predetermined route. Every pilot starts their journey with a planned out route, and so do organized and productive people. So start with planning ahead based on your goals, which are your destination of where you're trying to go, right? It's all about the journey, but where are you going? What are your goals in life? Have you decided on those? Have you written them down? Have you put thought and strategy behind those? There's a quote that I love that says, organize your life around your dreams and watch them come true. A way that you can implement this into your everyday life as far as having a predetermined route is by using things like time blocking and time batching. So in your everyday agenda, and this is very easy to do in the Mind Ambition Planner because there are those time blocking blocks for you set out, just kind of utilize that to have a predetermined route for your day, and that's going to help you be more organized and productive throughout your day. You could also do things like prioritizing and eating that frog every single day, because the hardest part of a flight, if you think about it, is the takeoff. Once they get in the air, they're cruise controlling. So if you prioritize what do you want to do as part of that takeoff, make it the hardest thing that you need to do that really needs a lot of brain power. You can predetermine your route by prioritizing what's most important for you to start off on in the day and be more productive. Also, when it comes to having a predetermined route that's going to help you be more organized and productive, a really good habit is to have prior preparation for your flight. So preparing, essentially. There's a YouTuber, Thomas Frank, who uses the analogy of a chef's mise en place. So if you think about a chef before they get started, they don't just jump right in, right? They have all the things set up that they're going to need to use, so they're not having to, measure things out as they get going. They have everything they need right in front of them. If you do that for your work and make a habit out of doing that for your work, of just being prepared before you get started, is going to help make you be not only more organized, but more productive as a result. Have you ever heard the phrase, you have the same 24 hours in the day as Beyonce? But do you really? Do you have the father that obsessively trains you for success? Do you have a nanny to help you with your kids if you're a mom? Do you have an assistant? Do you have Blue Ivy keeping you in check? My point is, even Beyonce isn't Beyonce without help and support. And the most organized and productive people know this. That's why this next set of habits are all about having a co-pilot, aka having your support. First up, I want you to have support by having a second brain. You might not know what this is. There's actually a book called Building a Second Brain. It's a book by Diego Forte that helps you create a second brain using the Evernote app. So in the book, if you need help with this, it covers various topics such as capturing and organizing information, creating a personal knowledge management system, developing a workflow, and leveraging the system to enhance creativity and productivity. You want to be able to have system or multiple systems that you can rely on, so you don't have to keep everything in your head. So this might be a system that you have within your Google Drive, within your planner, within Evernote or Asana. So that first piece of support is having that second brain. I want to offer you some other ways that you can get support as a habit in your life. You can do things like outsourcing habitually, so thinking about before you add anything onto your plate, is there a way I can outsource this? And don't just think about things that you do for work at your job or in your business, but think about things at home that are taking a lot of your time that you don't necessarily enjoy. Another way you can get support are through virtual assistants. This is a very cost-effective way to get the support that you need. You can also utilize things like babysitters and house cleaners. In high school, one of my favorite classes was anatomy. In particular, there was this one concept that changed the way I looked at life and has stuck with me ever since. And that concept is structure denotes function. This means that the very structure, the shape, or the form of something directly determines how it functions. This concept can be applied to various contexts. For example, in biology, the structure of biological molecules such as proteins or enzymes determines the function. In linguistics, the structure of a sentence such as word order or grammatical rules determines the meaning and function of a sentence. In architecture, the design and the arrangement of a building components determines the purpose and the functionality. Overall, the phrase structure denotes function highlights the importance of organization and arrangement in determining the purpose, the behavior, and the characteristics of a system or an entity. With that said, changes in a structure can often lead to changes in the function. And if you're still with me, I'm bringing it home, I'm landing the plane here, which leads me to my next set of habits, which is to respect the plane. Dropping our analogy for a second, more specifically, this means that the structure of your working environment will directly impact how productive it is. So here are some habits to maintain a work environment that supports the organization and productivity. The first habit you can adopt when it comes to structure denoting function, and that function being productivity, is everything has its place. Everything has its place on the switchboard in the plane, and everything is labeled. And I want you to treat your workspace just like that as well. Everything has a place, and then everything is labeled. This is going to help you be so much more efficient and organized, because when it's time to clean up, you're not just flailing and throwing things in a drawer. You don't have any system or organization to it. You know where each thing is going, and you might forget, right? And if you have the label, you know where each thing goes, especially if you work in an environment that there are multiple people and you want to keep things organized. Benjamin Franklin said, for every minute spent in organizing, there's an hour earned. And with that, when it comes to respecting the plane, is to declutter often. Insanely organized and productive people declutter regularly. Organized people tend to keep their physical and their digital environments clutter-free. They usually also regularly go through their possessions and eliminate anything that's no longer needed or no longer used. They also maintain a productive workspace, not just organized. According to the Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin, cluttered workspaces can decrease productivity. Research has found that people are more productive and less stressed when their workspaces are clean and organized. And if you're finding this information helpful, please tap that subscribe button and hit that like button. It really helps me stay motivated and bring you guys the best information on planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Okay, if you're cooking or doing something while watching this, I want you to come back to me, because I'm going to share some things you may want to screenshot. Next up, I want you to put the plane on cruise control. Organized and productive people use software to make their lives easier. The book, The 4-Hour Workweek, shares suggestions for software to help automate your workflow that I want to share with you that you can screenshot now. Zapier, If This Then That, Text Expander, Hootsuite, which is a little bit outdated, I would suggest something like later, and Trello for project management. Also, the book Free to Focus recommends these software aids: Evernote, which is a note-taking app; Google Drive; Rescue Time, a time tracking and productivity tool; Slack; Boomerang, which is an email productivity tool that allows users to schedule emails, set reminders, and snooze messages; LastPass, which is a password manager; and Focus at Will. I also recommend making a habit of using alarms and electronic reminders to keep you on task throughout the day. Furthermore, organized and productive people also habitually use routines and systems to automate their lives. And when it comes to routines, I want you to start with making the most of your morning routine. A morning routine can really set the tone tone for the rest of your day and help you start the day off on the right foot. So design a morning routine that includes tasks such as exercise, meditation, and planning your day. Many people are even most productive in the morning. Our brains are often more alert and focused in the early morning day, making it a good time to tackle complex tasks and creative projects. The hours between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m. are often the most productive for many people. This is when our energy levels are typically highest and we've already had the time to settle into the workday. Afternoon productivity tends to dip after lunch. Night owls may be more productive in the evening or late at night. Some people's circadian rhythms make them more alert and focused later in the day, which can make it easier to be productive during non-traditional work hours. So first, get to know yourself, but most people are more productive on complex things in the morning. And then regarding systems, consider creating a system for any task that you have to do multiple times in your personal or work life. You want to use things like templates and checklists to make these tasks more streamlined and automated. Templates can help you save time and ensure consistency. So I like to create templates for tasks such as email responses, social media posts, or project proposals. Okay, moving on. Insanely organized and productive people are agile as gazelles and are able to course correct when needed. One thing you can use to do this is time auditing. This is going to allow you to identify time-wasting activities. By tracking how you spend your time, you can identify activities that are not productive or not even really necessary. This can help you eliminate or delegate these activities, freeing up more time for you in the end. Also, by tracking your time, you can learn how to prioritize tasks, manage your schedule, and make better use of your time. So all around, this increasing of awareness of how you spend your time is going to be more helpful to help you be productive, but it's also been shown to help you reduce stress. Okay, I finally get to use my metaphor of putting on your oxygen mask in this little playing video. Putting on your oxygen mask first. This last set of habits is all about taking care of the pilot. Insanely organized and productive people operate from a full cup. So the first thing you want to do is avoid burnout. So if you think about the law of diminishing returns, which is an economic concept that applies to productivity as well, it states that as you increase the input of a certain factor, such as time, money, or labor, the output will initially increase, but after a certain point, the marginal return of the input will decrease. So in other words, there's a point at which the additional effort or resources that you put into something is not going to produce proportional increase in output or results. This concept is highly relevant to productivity because it highlights the importance of working smarter rather than working harder. Productivity is not simply a matter of putting in more hours or more effort, but rather optimizing the use of your time and resources to achieve really the best possible results for you with as little effort as possible. So to apply the law of diminishing returns to productivity, it's important to identify the tasks and activities that yield the highest returns for you on your investment of time and your investment of energy. You want to consider that too. This means focusing on the most important, impactful tasks and eliminating or delegating those less important ones. Also, it's important to set realistic goals and deadlines for yourself and to take breaks when you feel like it's needed. By doing so, you can ensure that you're working at your peak level of productivity and avoid burning out or becoming less effective over time. And to do this, I want you to utilize Einstein Time. Einstein Time refers to a mindset that allows you to change your perception of time and become more productive as a result. It's really magical. It's based on the idea that time is relative and that you can control your experience of time by changing your focus and changing your mindset. According to the principles of Einstein Time, there are two different ways of perceiving time: clock time and relative time. Clock time is traditional. It's the linear concept of time that we're all familiar with. It's based on the idea that time is fixed. It's a measurable quantity that moves forward at a constant rate. In contrast, relative time is more fluid, it's more flexible of a concept that's based on the idea that time is relative to your experience of it, really. By adopting an Einstein Time mindset, you can become more productive by focusing on your results, not your tasks. So instead of just completing tasks for the sake of being busy, you focus on achieving results that are aligned with your goals and your priorities. Also, prioritizing your time. You allocate your time and your energy to activities that are most important and impactful, and avoid being bogged down by less important tasks. Are you noticing a theme in these habits? And then thirdly, practicing mindfulness. You become more aware of how you're spending your time and your energy when you think in this like relative time mindset. So in essence, Einstein Time is a way of thinking that can help you shift your focus from being busy to being productive, and from being reactive to being proactive. Another way organized and productive people take care of the pilot in their habits is by optimizing their executive functioning. So this is my wheelhouse as a neuropsychologist, and I know that executive functioning is critical for organization. A study called Executive Functions and Organizational Skills in Adolescence found that executive functioning, including skills such as working memory, inhibition, and cognitive flexibility, was strongly related to organizational skills in adolescence. Individuals with weaker executive functioning may struggle more with organization, as they may have difficulty with planning, prioritizing, and self-regulation. And there are several ways to improve your executive functioning, including things like exercise, mindfulness meditation, cognitive training, improved sleep quality, a healthy diet, breaks and downtime, so using things like the Pomodoro method, and even just taking larger breaks just to get away. If you like this episode, please subscribe to the podcast or follow me on YouTube. If you want to find quick and easy ways to actually implement these habits, I teed up a video I did for you on 1-minute habits that are going to help you be more organized and productive for you to watch next. Until next time, cheers to planning, manifesting, and enjoying your dream life. Namaste.